Okay, so
talking
that's
about
one.
deficits and debt.
Wait a minute,
Has he
Neil.
improved
You've
it?
asked me a question, and I really need to answer it, please.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times TV hosts lost it on live TV.
Yeah, this is the problem with live television. I guess it gets around that if you're on live, then the nutcase is, yeah, and you are a nutcase.
For this list, we'll be looking at times when talk show hosts completely lost their composure on camera. We'll only be focusing on heated outbursts, so we won't be including hilarious moments like Anderson Cooper breaking into a fit of laughter after taking a jab at French actor Gérard Depardieu. Did we miss any other TV host meltdowns? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Rosie O'Donnell and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. The View. Rosie O'Donnell had 2 short stints on the popular daytime talk show The View. During her first go, the comedian and actress rarely ever saw eye to eye with her more conservative co-host, Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
You just said our enemies in Iraq. Did Iraq attack us?
No, I'm saying Al-Qaeda.
Okay, did Iraq attack us, Elizabeth?
Iraq did not attack us,
Correct.
Rosie. We've been there before.
Their feud came to a head on May 23, 2007, when Joy Behar brought up a discussion about then-President George W. Bush and the Iraq War. Hasselbeck defended the president and referred to Iraq as our enemies, much to O'Donnell's chagrin. What began as a political dissent swiftly turned personal, with O'Donnell chastising Hasselbeck for not defending her against conservative news outlets.
Excuse me. Let me speak.
You're going to double speak. It's just a yes or a no.
I am not a double speaker, and I don't put suggestions out there that lead people to think things and then not answer my own question.
I had a question to you, and you didn't answer.
Things got so heated that both women were even placed side by side on a split screen, a move that prompted O'Donnell to quit the show.
I'd like to make it very clear, and then we'll go on with our hot topics, that Rosie was never fired, and there was no desire to have her leave the show. We wanted to have her stay.
Number 9. Geraldo Rivera and Sean Hannity. Hannity. In 2018, 22-year-old Piers Corcoran was killed in a car crash involving Francisco Eduardo Franco Cambrani, an undocumented immigrant. The incident rekindled heated debates across America about immigration and then President Donald Trump's proposed border wall.
It's not using, it's about whether this government is going to protect
unfair. It is grotesquely unfair to use these anecdotes to make a political argument.
In one such debate, Sean Hannity brought fellow Fox News host Geraldo Rivera on his show, alongside conservative commentator Dan Bongino. Their discussion quickly devolved into a deafening shouting match, with Rivera accusing Hannity of exploiting the tragic event for political points.
The vast majority of the undocumented here.
I said 98%
no, Sean,
are good people.
You're not letting me make a point.
Bongino, the third wheel in the discussion, eventually joined in and turned the tables on Rivera by accusing him of also making a political point.
All of a sudden, it's a political point?
As well as I know that these people commit fewer crimes than citizens commit.
It wouldn't be new territory for Rivera, who had previously gotten into it with the 5 co-host, Greg Gutfeld.
That man should be ashamed of himself.
Let somebody else talk.
The president of the United States is going to forego his I mean, please, can we put that on the air as if this is a responsible law enforcement official?
Number 8, Neil Cavuto, Making Money with Charles Payne. A 2019 Fox Business panel got heated when 2 of the featured hosts disagreed on then-President Trump's handling of the national deficits and debt.
If you want to look at both parties' abandonment of anything hinting of fiscal restraint, you could look at that as well. The fact of the matter is there are a lot of hands in this.
While Neil Cavuto criticized the administration's management of the situation, Lou Dobbs chimed in to sing Trump's praises. This sent Cavuto right off the edge.
Now, here is the reality.
Fact. Do you think this president has done anything to contain the deficits and the debt that has spiraled still from what levels he had from Barack Obama?
The longtime anchor and network executive fired off at Dobbs, asking repeatedly if he thought the president had things under control. Dobbs, when he was finally able to chip in and answer over Cavuto's constant interruptions, responded in the affirmative.
I said that at the outset. Lou, what about now with the deficit and the debt?
Forgive me, I didn't interrupt you, Neil, and you've done it to me now twice.
Dobbs then goes on to talk about deregulation and unemployment, which does absolutely nothing to pacify Cavuto. Number 7, Piers Morgan, Good Morning Britain. Oprah Winfrey's no-holds-barred interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle was rife with explosive allegations about the British royal family.
Rude and racist are not the same. And equally, you've also had a press team that goes on the record to defend you, especially when they know something's not true. And that didn't happen for us.
Appearing on Good Morning Britain the morning after the interview aired, co-host Piers Morgan questioned Markle's claim of mental health struggles.
I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well, that's a
I wouldn't believe it if she read me a weather report. And the fact that she's fired up this onslaught against our royal family, I think is contemptible.
His remarks sparked a huge controversy, and he was criticized on the Good Morning Britain panel the very next day by his co-host, Alex Beresford. The two got into an argument over the comments made, culminating in Morgan rising from his seat and storming off the set.
But yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
The incident caused Morgan to resign from his position as a host on the show, a decision that was announced by ITV later that day. Number 6. Oprah Winfrey, The Oprah Winfrey Show. Oprah Winfrey's highly successful daytime show featured a segment called Oprah's Book Club, which guaranteed any selection instant success. In September 2005, Winfrey picked A Million Little Pieces, a memoir by James Fry that detailed his harrowing struggle with alcoholism and substance use disorder.
I don't know what is true, and I don't know what isn't. So first of all, I wanted to start with the Smoking Gun report, titled The Man Who Conned Oprah, and I want to know where they write.
A few months later, Fry was embroiled in a huge controversy after an investigative website alleged that he had lied about several details in his book. Winfrey brought Fry back on her show, where he admitted to fabricating parts of the book.
I did that show, and I was pretty defensive. I was defending my turf and defending every single viewer who had bought that book.
In what Today.com called a stunning switch from dismissive to disgusted, a livid Winfrey grilled Fry in front of her mostly disappointed viewers. It was so intense that Winfrey later issued an apology to Fry.
But my apology is not for what I said, it's for the way that I said it.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
What people saw was my lack of compassion.
Number 5. Steve Wilkos, The Steve Wilkos Show. A former director of security at The Jerry Springer Show, Steve Wilkos began hosting his own spin-off in September 2007.
2 months ago, these ashes came up missing, and she believes that her fiancé, AJ, took them after an argument that led him to pack up and leave.
Wilkos' show followed in the footsteps of its parent series, featuring controversial cases that typically devolved into loud shouting matches and physical fights. In this episode, Wilkos brings on a woman who accused her fiancé of stealing her deceased baby's ashes. After he fails a lie detector test, Wilkos loses it on the man, yelling expletives at him before kicking him off the stage. It's wild, but probably not as wild as this case, where he explodes at a woman, telling her he hopes she rots in hell.
And I hope you rot in hell and someday jail. Get the hell off my stage!
We just have one question on our minds. What does Wilkos have against chairs? Number 4. Bill O'Reilly, The O'Reilly Factor. In 2005, the king of daytime talk, Phil Donahue, appeared on Bill O'Reilly's show for a discussion about the Iraq War. The segment begins with O'Reilly questioning Donahue's support of Cindy Sheehan, an anti-war protester whose son was killed in active duty during the war.
And with us now is Phil Donahue, who supports Miss Sheehan's dissent.
Donahue reaffirms his support of Sheehan and criticizes O'Reilly for constantly denigrating her. All the while, the tension between the two hosts is palpable, and it all comes to a boil when Donahue seemingly points out O'Reilly's hypocrisy.
You wouldn't send your children to this war, Bill.
My nephew just enlisted in the Army. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Very good. Congratulations, Steve.
Yeah, and he's a patriot, so don't denigrate his service or I'll boot you right off the set.
O'Reilly blows his top, threatening to kick Donahue out for his backhanded comments. Through it all, Donahue remains cool, emphasizing that loud doesn't mean right. and we couldn't agree more.
That's
You
right.
can't
A little bit more
intimidate me.
intelligence than
I'm
he
not
is.
somebody you can come and just spew all
Don't tell me I
your
wouldn't send my kids.
Loud doesn't mean
my
right.
nephew just enlisted. You don't know what you're
Your
talking
nephew
about.
is not your kid.
Number 3. Morton Downey Jr., The Morton Downey Jr. Show. Before networks were littered with trash TV shows in the 90s and 2000s, there was The Morton Downey Jr. Show. The syndicated program, which was a first of its kind, became known for being rowdy and unnecessarily crude.
Kelly, let me tell you something, pal. If there's ever a milk strike, I'll know where to go.
In one of its most infamous episodes, Downey Jr. hosted Kelly Everts, an exotic dancer who claims to be doing the business in God's name. Right off the bat, Downey Jr. berates the woman, mocking her for her appearance and profession.
This is the crap
It is
she's
the men
in.
that want
Dominant
sex.
mystique,
The men want
where
perversion.
she can beat
The
the hell
men
out
are
of
the
men.
sex
I'd love you to
maniacs.
try to beat me, honey.
At one point, he even thrusts at her with his pelvis, and later acts like he's going to backhand her. Everts does her best to defend herself, but she is no match for the host's inappropriate antics and the loud cheering from his audience.
I have sold my body. So what? So what?
Let me
Sex
tell you.
is not a sin. Sex is not a sin. God created sex. God created the body.
Number 2, Bill Maher, Real Time with Bill Maher. Controversial TV host and comedian Bill Maher can now add security guard to his resume after this incident. During a live taping of his late-night show in 2007, Maher was anchoring a panel discussion on an unrelated topic when he was heckled by an audience member.
This is part of the Democrats.
The individual interrupted the show multiple times by shouting out 9/11 conspiracy theories. At first, Maher took it in stride, but as the heckler persisted, he got up from his seat and yelled for security.
Or do I have to come over and kick this guy's ass?
Maher then took it upon himself to go into the crowd and physically throw the man out. Of course, when he returned to the panel, another audience member continued from where the first man stopped.
I'll kick your ass out of here, too.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, The View. Back in 2010, when Bill O'Reilly was still the host of the popular Fox News show The O'Reilly Factor, he made a controversial appearance on The View.
Please welcome Bill O'Reilly.
While discussing his book Pinheads and Patriots, O'Reilly brought up the Muslim community center that was to be erected near the site of the 9/11 attacks. O'Reilly voiced his opposition to the development of the center and sparred with the other hosts about it.
Yes, and then the guy
this
says,
is America.
and then the
This is
hold
America.
hold it. Listen to me because you'll learn. All right? Thank you.
Then he made a totally insensitive assertion that ticked off the hosts, particularly Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. The two women got up and stormed off stage in protest. Things eventually calmed down after O'Reilly apologized, leading Goldberg and Behar to return to the panel. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.